The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Huddle up.
On Giants.com.
Here we go.
And the Giants mobile
Get
app.
them in there. Let's go.
Part of the Giants podcast network.
All right, who wants to cover some wide receivers? It's cornerback day on the Giants Huddle podcast. I am John Schmeelk. Thank you so much for being with us. Today, we talk about the Giants cornerbacks, Adoree Jackson, new arrival Amani Oruwariye. We have Darnay Holmes, Cor'dale Flott, Aaron Robinson coming back from injury. Deonte Banks will be our final one, and before him, we'll have fellow rookie Tre Hawkins. So make sure you stay to the end to hear Deonte Banks. And, man, a few words, but I think he opened up a little bit, and we kind of had a fun conversation, joked around, had some laughs, and we had a good time with him. Different type of personality. I think he's a guy that is really going to be into the football here and not let everything else kind of suck him in to, some of the off-the-field stuff. I think he'll be a great addition and going to be a really good player for the New York Football Giants. All right. So let's lead off with Adoree Jackson, the Giants vet and leader. He kind of sets the stage here, and then we'll end with, again, the Giants' first-round pick, Deonte Banks. Here's my interview with Adoree Jackson. And now we're joined by Giants cornerback Adoree Jackson. Adoree, good to see you, man.
Good to see you always.
All right, so you were rolling last year, and then the knee.
Right.
How tough was it to kind of fight through that? Teams in a playoff run. I'm sure you were trying to get back as quickly as you can, but you don't want to get back too early, and then either you're not yourself or you re-injure it.
I think that's one of the things that you look at, just understanding your body. Thankful that we were able to be in a position where we were 7-2, which gave me a little wiggle room to be able to get my knee back to the best of its ability, 100%, to go out there and play and compete at a high level. And I just always want to give credit, not just only to the trainers in there. I call them my PFAT guys, but also the players, man, for going out there competing. And even though it seemed like things were looking downhill, found a way to just win one and to get into playoffs. And so it's, thank God for being able to get me back out there healthy and letting the circumstances play out the way they played. But the trainers, my teammates, for, even when things were looking rough, they still had a positive attitude, smile on their face, coming to work, competing. And when you see that, only thing you want to do is just get better yourself so you can go out there and play, for the one next to you. So, big shout out to those.
I want to get your veteran perspective on something, because as someone that's followed and studied this game for a long time, the quickest way for a defensive season to go to hell, to be quite frankly with you, is for a bunch of cornerbacks to get hurt and teams are throwing the ball all over the place. You guys had to bring in and play so many different corners last year, yet that never happened. What is it about the room, or maybe the way Jerome Henderson teaches you guys, the way Wink's defense is set up? How are you guys able to do that with so many different bodies coming in and out?
I think it's about holding each other accountable. We talk about, Rome always says, just because one person goes out, the level of play shouldn't go down. Same as Wink. You go out there, it doesn't matter. It's like plug and play. And when you have a room that we have, with Rome being in there, played in the league, coaching in this league a while, giving us different analogies, different stories, different tidbits to be able to pick his brain, to understand and help us play the game. I think it helps out a lot. And then just the guys that we have, want to hold each other accountable, build a relationship. So if something is going on, you can say, hey, come on, tighten up. Or, let's lock in, let's get it together. And it's not coming from a bad or a malicious spot. You understand, like, oh, that's my brother. Let me just do my 111 out there and I'll be okay. So I think when everybody has that same mentality, that same attitude, and you have a great coach, great coaches and Jerome and Wink to be able to help you, and Mike, I feel like those three being in our corner, being in our ear, being positive, never beating you down, never – just always positive. And I say I can appreciate that the most about them, regardless of what's going on. You got your guys next to you, and we service the room as you speak. So it's not like the coaches don't have to say anything. They can just give you that look. Or like when you was a kid, you going somewhere and get that look like, okay, yeah, I know I'm tripping. I need to lock in and get it together. So I think that's how our room operates. And, a big shout out to Ron, Mike, and Wink.
And Mike Trier is who you're talking about.
Yeah, Mike Trier, yes.
Coach for the fans that might not know. Great guy, great coach. The other thing I want to ask you about, it seems like when people think of Wink's defense, they're like, all right, blitz man-to-man, he goes nuts, crazy blitzes, all this, guys roll all over the place. But I think it's a little underrated how much he focuses on technique with you guys, where you play exactly the right technique based on what scheme you're in, knowing where your help is. And I think that does mitigate some of the issues I kind of asked you about in the first question, right? Where if you know where the defense is vulnerable and you know where you need to be and you just play that technique properly, the really bad stuff is probably not going to happen, right?
Exactly. It's more of a mental thing. Everybody, like you said, is man blitz, but it's all a mental aspect. Like if you know that's what's going to happen and you're out there, you know it, you just going to go out there and play it. And then despite, going out there and not knowing like, oh, dang, they're playing man. Or you just out there like, oh, we usually play zone. Now we got to play man on this play. So for us, it's like, okay, we're always playing this, playing that. And then mentally you get your mind wrapped into it. Mentally you get together. Mentally you're thinking like, man, I've been in this situation 1,000 times at practice. And I feel like that practice builds that callus. So when you get in the game, everything goes smoother. So
and just like knowing your leverage, right? Like simple things like that.
Yeah, it's always understanding what is the weakness of this, I don't want to say defense, but what is the weakness of what's going on right now? Look, where can they exploit you?
Every scheme can be beat, right? It's just a matter of playing it so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, understanding your job and your brother's job. That's what I'm saying. I say do your 111, but knowing your brother's going to do his so you don't have to overcompensate. Just do your job. You do your job. Everything else going to play out the way it should.
So give me the vet outlook on Deonte Banks, your young rookie first-round pick that you're in the room with.
I like Banks. He is a humble guy, a great head on his shoulders. Talking to him, speaking with him, very open, very vocal, but a respectable guy. You can see the confidence in there, but you can also see the humbleness that is needed to not just be in the league, but to keep striving and to do great things. So I'm seeing that regardless of, I don't even care what he does on the field, just seeing those tangibles of his head is on straight, he's respectable. It seems like he knows what it takes to mesh and be in a room and to thrive, and you can appreciate that.
You also had a lot of moving pieces at inside linebacker last year, middle of your defense, right? Guys coming in and out, a lot of new faces. Now you got Bobby Okereke here, right? He's done it for a long time. He's fast as hell. How does having a constant force in there that you know what you're going to get out of him and he's done it for a while, how does that help the defense as a whole? It's
great. You build those conversations. You build that rapport on each other, hanging out with him. I think that's the biggest thing of, you can be a great player on the field, but you need to be a great teammate, and that's what we hold into. As you see, you talk about a lot of changing pieces where we are as at corner, safety, or whatever it may be. Things just interchange, but at the same time, building that relationship with those guys and understanding each other makes you go out there and play fast and play for each other. But having Bobby is a great addition, a great piece. Being a Pac-12 guy, I'm a little biased, so I respect his game. So it's nice having him.
Final question, two-part question. Where is the next step for you in this defense as an individual, and what's the next step for this defense as a group kind of being together for that second straight year?
I think for me individually is to just up the level of play, to continue to grow, to continue to get better, to continue to learn, trying to put out the best version of me. Each time that I step, not on the game field, but at practice in the weight room, just give my 2%, trying to be better. And I think for this defense, it's the same thing. I understand that, like, we know what we did last year, but can't really harp too much in the past. That's your ego. Don't want to get too far into the future. Now you over anxious, and so to be right here in the moment, be present, understanding like, okay, you can change the narrative by what you do out there on the field. And I feel like if we all have that mindset of just trying to get 1%, 2% better, be better than last year, be better than yesterday, be better than 3 hours ago, whatever it may be, not just on the football field, in the weight room, in the classroom, those three areas, just trying to improve and play for each other and enjoy the game, have fun, and not take it for granted. I think that's the next step.
And you guys got some quarterbacks on the schedule this year too, man.
Yeah, we got some guys. We got some teams we playing. That's the fun part about it. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the schedule when it comes out,
there's some names on there.
You get to see who you go against, and it's all about, I don't know, accepting the challenge, and not running away from it, not shying away from it, but embracing it. It's just like I feel like us as the defense, we're like the villains of the movies, and it wouldn't be a movie without them. So that's why it's exciting.
Adoree, good stuff. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And now we're joined by Giants cornerback Amani Oruwariye, right?
Yes,
got it. Perfect.
Yes,
I was working on it. Thank you. Talk about it. You decided to come to the Giants this year. Why was this a good fit for you?
I think this is a team, a good young team going in the right direction. Obviously, with this coaching staff taking over last year. I think they shifted the culture and they've started to drive the bus in the right direction. And I think I wanted to be a part of that. I think I saw opportunity at the corner position to come contribute, and I felt like this would be a good place, great market, great team, and felt like the right fit.
We do a lot of draft work on our production side here. I remember scouting you coming out, and I said, boy, this guy would be great in a press man system. Was that part of it too, knowing the way Wink wants to play on defense, that you think he can really fit in?
No, 100%. And knowing that it's intentional. It's that's what he does. He's known for that. And I feel like you said, I feel like I could fit right in with that and make some plays in this defense.
Now, you came in and you played very early in your career, and then you didn't have the starting job anymore. How were you able to kind of process that mentally and fight through it to kind of keep going? Because I know that can sometimes, get in guys' heads a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, no, it was tough. It definitely was tough. They made that decision, and I kind of just had to go back to work, just keep working on my craft, working on, like you said, the mental side of it, and making sure I was, helping, I still was one of the older guys in the room, so helping those young guys out when they had to go out there and play in those big games. So just getting myself right and preparing myself for this year.
For fans that maybe didn't watch you in Detroit, what can you tell Giant fans about how you play and what you bring to the game?
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm a confident corner. I feel like I'm a corner that doesn't back down. I want to show up in the big moments, make the big plays. I feel like I've done that in this league, and I just want to continue to do that here.
What do you think about the cornerback group you have in that room?
A lot of talent top to bottom, a lot of diversity, guys all from all over, different stories, backgrounds, but that's the beauty of it, all coming together to try to get one thing accomplished, and that's, win a Super Bowl.
Now, unfortunately for you, you have been around a bunch of different DB coaches, right, and secondary coaches.
Yes, sir.
What is a little bit different about how Wink and Jerome teach what they want you guys to do?
There's differences throughout the league and with any DB coach, defense coordinator relationship. They just bring their own kind of unique way to the game. Obviously, it's Wink's system, so Jerome kind of has understood that and likes how. Has learned how Wink wants stuff done, and so he's reiterated that to us. And we just adapt, listen, learn. They got a lot of knowledge to give us, and just go out there and put our best foot forward.
Now, I don't mean this in a mean way, but they don't make your guys' job easy. Like, it's a lot of you're not going to have safety help on this play.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go cover.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you embrace that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're going to be in some of these close games, so. You pick your poison. You want to sit back and be out there all day, or you can go after them, buckle down, and kind of make some plays in that defense. And I think if you do it right and everyone's all 11 are playing together, it can work out really well.
Finally, for fans watching you and they're thinking, boy, he played that exactly the way it's supposed to be. What are some of the most important technique things a cornerback needs to execute properly to be good in this type of press man scheme?
Technique, I think just knowing situationally how you need to play everything. You can
leverage things like that.
Exactly. Different leverage, different, like you said, situation, knowing first, second down versus third down, distance, how this player fits into that offense specifically, what the coordinator thinks, and just learning. If you learn the defense and how it's supposed to be structured and then fit it in against whoever you're playing, I think it's really beneficial.
Amani, good stuff, man. We appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The Giants Huddle is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
All right, and now we're joined by Giants cornerback Darnay Holmes. Darnay, how's it going, man?
How you doing? I'm doing good, man. Can't complain about nothing that's going on at all.
So what's your focus been this offseason? When you went into the shop after last year, where was Darnay Holmes trying to get better?
Truthfully, the things that was hindering my game and hindering the defense with penalties, I feel like the experience I was able to grasp last year, I got to give it up to the coaching staff for letting me be out there to experience those plays, because a lot of people don't understand that I never played nickel until I got to the NFL. Yeah. You feel me? So understanding that you got to be able to guard from sideline, that's something that I never was scared of.
Two-way go, right?
Exactly.
It's tough.
Exactly. That's something that I was never shying away from, but being able to understand that it's a passing lead, it's a lead where anything that's stopping a receiver from getting to his route is a flag. So understanding and reflecting on who I was as a DB from high school to where I was at now, I always had a niche of not having my hands ready to go. So
Right.
when things were getting frantic at the top of the route, it was natural for me to grab. So that was the biggest thing for me this offseason, was figuring out the why behind things. At the end of the day, there's a reason behind everything that's going on in your life. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, what's the reason behind that? And once I figured out the reason, I feel like I definitely been sharpening those tools up.
Knowing you're really not allowed to touch anyone without any contact in the spring, does that help you work on that?
Yeah, no,
scheme?
most definitely. Before we even got the OTA rules, that was my big emphasis. Was end of the day, I feel like I got God-given talent with great feet.
Yeah, you have all the speed and the quickness to stay with the guys.
Exactly. So by me understanding that, it was like, all right, why are these things happening, and why do I have this label on me? So that was my biggest thing, just remove that label through, first, knowledge of the game, and second, understanding my body and why these things were taking place.
And when you went into there, do you feel like you've gotten a good handle on that now?
Yeah, for sure. It's still more work to do, but definitely feel I'm way ahead than I was at the end of the season, and definitely way ahead of where I was before the beginning of the season.
How have one of the young guys in the Cor'dale Flott come along? Because he's kind of like, you're right, but he's inside, he's outside.
Yeah,
you guys
facts,
are kind of in the
facts.
same boat, right?
Yeah, Flott came along great, man. He's a great guy on and off the field. He's definitely knowledgeable. Coming from a university of a DBU university, I'm able to pick his game through observing him, and he probably never have me told him that in person, because we always nitpicking each other.
Sure.
But being on the mic right now, I definitely observe his game a lot, because he come from a coaching staff that had fluid DBs and DBs who are top tier and Hall of Fame DBs. So he got something about his game that a lot of people don't have, because they wasn't being polished by these coaches. So I definitely observe the way he play, and he definitely helped me out a lot this spring by just observing the way he played catch and different tools that he used.
I asked Adoree this, and I'll ask you the same thing. I think the fastest way for a defense to fall apart is for there to be a lot of injuries in the secondary and balls going over the top. That's the quickest way things can go bad.
Most definitely.
Last year, you guys had injuries. You had so many new guys filtering in and out. What is it about the way these coaches teach you guys, the guys in the room, how you hold each other accountable, that allowed you guys to just hold it together, even with all those moving pieces last year? Because I don't think I've ever seen it before to that extent, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like we got to approach the mentality of nobody's going to beat us deep, because nobody can run past us. And when you come with that approach, you're going to be able just to lean upon your technique and the tools and the knowledge that we're sharpening up each week through game prep and through camp and OTAs. So when we had new guys filling it in, Coach Rome was making sure that he was emphasizing what our DNA was, what we stand on. And at the end of the day, each and every game, we stand on what we stand on, and we going to let it be and let the chips fall how it's supposed to fall. So those who come to the Giants defense, they got to have an understanding that we got to approach the mentality that's we ready to take on any opponent that comes our way, and we're going to constantly sharpen our tools so we put our best self out there each week.
Finally, you've been here a while now. You're kind of a young vet, right? What's the limit for this defense here? You got a lot of new faces in. You got a lot of new guys in the secondary, a new middle linebacker and Bobby, and you've a couple new big guys up front too. So where can this defense take the biggest jump this year?
Yeah, I truly believe the limit that we may have is the limit we place on ourselves if we get complacent and satisfied. I feel like that's the only limit that we truly have, and I feel like that's the only limit in life is once you get satisfied and you get settled with wherever you at in life, you get complacent, then you limit yourself. So if we stop spending time together off the field, if we stop spending time watching film together, if we stop running gases after practice, if we stop paying attention to walkthroughs and correcting walkthroughs, that's when we're going to start limiting ourselves, man. I feel like the way we built, ain't going to be no limits. I feel like we got no ceiling, and I feel like a lot of players on this defense haven't reached their peak, and there's a lot of things that we're going to showcase this year for sure.
Can't wait to see it, Darnay. Good
likewise.
stuff, my man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. And now we're joined by Giants cornerback Cor'dale Flott. Cor'dale, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. All right, so put the mirror on your rookie season. What do you see when you look into it?
I was actually proud, regarding some of the knick-knack injuries I had. I was actually proud of how I done. And over the course of time, a lot of the stuff I learned. So, rookie season is about learning. You can learn, take stuff from it, and continue to improve.
How tough was it trying to kind of fight through all those little things that kept popping up?
Yeah, it's tough because, it's an ongoing season. Every week you got to prepare for different teams, and every day you got to focus on yourself and getting better, taking a step closer to whatever, maybe have injury or a step closer to somewhere you want to get on the field. So it's just taking it one day at a time every time.
And you're trying to learn and get better, right?
Exactly.
And when you got to focus on rehab, it's got to be tougher to kind of do both at the same time, I imagine.
Right. Yeah, it can be tough, but this is what we get paid to do. This,
Sure.
Top 1 percentile being in the league, so that's one thing we got to handle.
Now, you're also doing outside and you're doing slot. You're trying to do both. What
Right.
was that process trying to learn both those spots in a defense that, let's be honest, puts a lot on the cornerback's plates?
Yeah, for real. I just take it. I take accountability for it. It's a blessing to be able to do both of those positions, and so I just take full advantage of, and I put the effort into learning to the playbook to wing defense to try to be the best I can be.
Which one do you like better?
Um,
Do you care?
Nah, I don't really care. It's just whatever available.
Which one do you think you're better at? How about that?
Ooh, I say nickel.
Why?
More freedom and different coverages. You don't be so locked in on one thing. Maybe you can zone, maybe you can man, you can blitz. So there's differences at it.
And I'm honestly surprised you picked slot because
It's tough.
you got to tackle in slot.
Yeah.
You're the edge player on outside
A lot of
zone.
stuff,
Like that's not easy. I remember plays last year. I'm talking to Howard Cross, the silent reporter, and there's a guard pulling out there,
Yeah.
and you're the dude,
Yeah.
and you got this 315-pound dude rolling at you.
Yeah, for real.
Take me through that.
Yeah, it's all about technique too when you're dealing with them bigger guys, and how you avoid blocks or how you shed them. So
You can't cut him anymore, though.
Nah, you can't cut them. You gotta get out the way. For real. But yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking though.
I know one thing you wanted to do was put on a little bit of weight, get a little stronger when you came to the league. How has that process been, and where are you at right now when I'm talking to you?
Yeah, I did that. I'm at 180 now.
180,
Solid.
nice.
Yeah, so that's one thing coming to this camp, to keep it on and continue to get in shape with that weight.
What was that process like?
It wasn't too difficult. Once you're in the off season, you have more time to sit, rest, let your body catch up, eat more meals,
A lot of calories,
take
right?
in more calories. So yeah, it's much easier than during the season. So that's that on that.
What are your main personal goals?
Main personal goals to be healthy during the season. That's a personal goal, just so I can be able to last, so I can be able to do what I want to do on the field and make a lot of plays.
What were you really trying to work on this offseason to get better?
Like I said, my weight, my body composition, and how can take on injuries or hits or whatever that's coming during the season.
Cordell, man, we wish you luck. Can't wait to see it, man.
I appreciate
Good stuff.
you.
Thank you. All right, now we're joined by Giants defensive back Aaron Robinson. Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good.
All right, so you've had to obviously deal with some injuries here. What has that rehab process been like for you trying to get back on the field?
It's nothing too bad, just coming in every day ready to, attack the day, pretty much knowing what the day is going to look like and, what I'm up against. But rehab's been pretty good, it's coming along smooth. What's
the biggest challenge, the mental part of it or the physical part of it?
Definitely say the physical part. Mentally, I'm in a good headspace. Got some good people around me in the building. Back at home. So definitely the physical part of it is the most challenging.
Is it trying not to go too fast? Is it just staying disciplined and doing your work every day? What's the most challenging part of that from a physical standpoint?
Just early on. Early on in the process where, you're trying to get your range of motion back and everything else. Outside of that is pretty much coming along, but the movements and everything early on has been the hardest part for me.
Are you closing in? Do you see the light at the end of the tunnel without putting an exact time frame on it, where you feel pretty good about, all right, I think I'll be able to help contribute at some point this season?
Yeah, it's definitely always light at the end of the tunnel. You just staying down, attacking the day every day, ready to get to it.
What are your major goals for 2023?
Most importantly right now is to get back healthy and to stay healthy, to be able to contribute.
Do you have a really good feel for what your role is going to be once you are on the field, given how you saw how this scheme works and how they'd want to use you in it last year?
Not really thinking about it too much, just being where my feet is, attacking rehab every day, trying to get back healthy.
All right, man, we look forward to seeing you out there, Aaron. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you.
Giants fans love a winner. It's why they love Citizens. Named a 2022 Best Bank in the U.S. by The Banker. As the official bank of the Giants and sponsor of the Giants Huddle, Citizens is made ready for fans of Big Blue. Learn more at citizensbank.com.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
All right, now we're joined by Giants rookie cornerback Tre Hawkins. Tre, how are you, man?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm doing it. Nice to meet you. How was the reality of being in the NFL met your kind of childhood dreams and expectations of playing in the league for the first 6 weeks you've been here?
Man, it's a blessing, man. As a child, you don't see really, you don't see what it takes being here. As in, you don't see what all NFL players have to do. But it's most definitely a blessing just being here and just getting this whole experience and just living with it.
So what has it been like trying to learn Wink's defense and figure out what he's asking of you as a cornerback?
It's been a process. It's a roller coaster, just like every rookie coming in. You have good days, you have bad days. Just trying to keep my head up and continue to go to the next day and next play and continue to understand the playbook also. But as I said, it's been a roller coaster, ups and downs. But majority, I'm loving the process of it.
It seems like, given your skill set, though, what this defense wants their outside corners to do, it kind of matches your skill set, right?
Most definitely.
Why?
Because I feel like just being a tall, long, physical corner, you're able to play. I'm able to play press, and I think Wink likes that. Wink likes that.
Why do you like to play press?
It's just the competitiveness about it. When I'm in somebody's face, I just don't believe they're better than me. It's like you got to kind of beat me off rip. You can't like set me up. You can set me up, but it's gonna be hard to when I'm dead in your face. You gotta get to your route faster than what you think you have to.
Now, unfortunately, in the spring, you can't really play that way yet, right? Because there's no pads on. You can't bump. You got to have hands off and everything like that. So how has it been like having to play without getting the benefit of being able to get your hands on the receiver at the line of scrimmage in the spring?
I look at it more as an opportunity, playing with my feet more. Some days I'm going to have to do it. I'm not going to be able to play with hands every day. I feel like you got to use your feet before your hands. So just playing with my feet more, learning how to play with my feet, and it's kind of been helping me. I feel like it's going to improve my game in the long run.
So you got some speed on that wide receiver room, right?
Most definitely.
What's been the difference so far between guarding the wide receivers here at the Giants and what you did back at Old Dominion?
I'll say overall kind of everything. You can see guys more talented at the Giants. You can see guys more experienced, guys who do things that you never seen at a different level, like just as in the IQ of the football game, the IQ of playing receiver. Like they release different. They'll do different moves on you that you never seen before. So it's just mainly the experience of everything. They're more experienced.
What have you been able to learn from Jerome Henderson in your short time with him?
What have I been able to learn?
Yeah.
Basically just the defense and being able to play corner the Giants' way. He's a good coach and he was a great player. Well, he's a great coach, player, and a man. He's been teaching me how to be a better football player and a better man also, and I appreciate Coach Jerome.
All right, finally, what are your individual goals? You don't have to give me numbers or anything like that, but what are some of the things you want to accomplish and show the coaching staff as a rookie when you get back there on the field in August to get ready for the regular season?
You said, what do I want to show them in August? Mm-hmm. I just want to show them that they're getting a competitor, a player that's just ready to help impact the team any way as possible. If that's on special teams, if that's on defense, any way possible. I just want to help the team win.
How much special team experience do you have from your time in college and high school?
I have a little bit.
Punt and kick coverage, or?
Yeah, I really kind of did everything, but coming from ODU, you don't. I wasn't playing special teams a lot because I was playing majority of the game.
Sure.
But I'm a football player. It won't be nothing to learn.
Hey, especially if you don't mind being physical. If you don't mind being physical and you're fast, you can play special teams, right?
Most definitely.
Tre, good stuff, man. Nice meeting you.
Yes,
Best
sir.
of luck this offseason.
Nice to meet you, too.
We're joined by Giants first-round pick, rookie cornerback, Deonte Banks.
Yes,
Deonte,
sir.
how are you, man?
How you doing? I'm good.
So how has it been now that you've kind of been in the building since you've been drafted? You know, all the guys that get drafted, you dream about being in the NFL forever.
For sure.
So how has the reality matched kind of what your expectations were before you started this journey in the NFL?
I want to say I really had no expectations because I ain't never did this before, but it's been a real enjoyable moment. It's everything I expected it to be. It's really everything I dreamed of it to be. So I'm loving it here.
That's awesome. Now, you went back and you got your degree. You got your diploma.
Yes, sir.
Why was that so important for you?
I really wanted to do it because I wanted my grandmother to see me do it. That's for me was a real big inspiration for my grandmother because she ain't had no grandchild that has graduated college. So I wanted to do it for my grandmother.
That's awesome, man.
Also my mother too, but I want to do it for my grandmother for sure.
I got you. So we were talking to your head coach, Mike Loxley from Maryland, and we asked him about you, and he goes, you know what I do? I tell all the new kids about not getting into trouble, and I say, go look at Deonte Banks.
Right.
He is always where he's supposed to be.
Yes,
he does
sir.
what he's got to do.
Yes, sir.
He does his work. He comes back, and I see him in study hall after he gets drafted in the NFL, getting ready for his test to graduate.
Yes, sir.
What is it about you that kind of has you operating that way? Why is it important for you to just be that way?
I don't know. I just feel like I was made that way. Like I feel like that's what my parents installed into me. Like I don't know. I just always been you feel me? Just finish what you started. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna do it, finish it. So I've been trying to finish everything.
I think that's a good way to look at things, and you're used to finishing plays on the football field too.
Yes,
if you
sir.
watch your corner. So just tell me about your mindset and approach at corner that you think maybe sets you apart from other people that play your position.
I feel like to me, like I'm just a real more aggressive type dude. Like I wanna to play man. Like that's just what I want to do, and that's just like I feel like as a corner, if you don't want to, I don't think you're in the right position. So I just feel like I always want to play. You feel what I'm saying? I want to be physical with you. So that's what I feel like. That's what separates me.
It was funny, and talking to your head coach, we were asking him about that, and he said, well, the first couple years, we played zone. Like, we played, cover two. And is that one of the reasons why maybe you popped a little bit later in your career?
Maybe,
because
I think so.
You're like, I'm born to play man.
Yes.
I mean, I'll play zone. I'll do what they want me to do, obviously. But this isn't my thing, necessarily.
Nah, not my thing. I like playing man. I love playing man. I like sending pressure. I like blitzing.
So when the draft was going on, and I'm sure you met with the Giants, you talked to
course.
Wink. You were here. You were on one of the 30 visits, right? And you know how the Giants want to play.
Right.
Were you sitting there like, don't pick me. I want to get to the Giants. I want to play. Because you knew that scheme was going to fit exactly what you want to do.
100%. That's exactly what I want to do. And it fit me. So it's like, I just magically popped into the right place for me. Like, no cap.
Now, unfortunately, in the spring, you can't put hands on people.
Right.
Which I'm sure is not fun for you. Because
Not
that's
at
not the
all.
way you want to play.
Not at all.
So are you excited to kind of come back here at the end of
Yes.
July when the pads come on and it's kind of real football?
Extremely excited because like it's a whole different tay out there when we got pads on. So I'm really just ready for it. I wish it start tomorrow because I'm too ready for it, but we gotta wait till the end of July.
How much pride do you take in the tackling part of it? You're talking about putting hands on people like bump and run, but how about the whole tackling part of it, which is a lot of corners, they aren't down with that necessarily,
For sure.
but if I watched your tape,
I like tackling.
I know that's not a problem for you.
Oh man, I don't really I don't do the whole missing tackle. I feel like missing tackles is like somebody like taking your money or something. Like why you feel me? Let somebody get past you. So I don't really try to miss tackles. I'm really trying to hit you. So like my whole thing is just to be aggressive out there. I want to set the tone out there.
Absolutely. So here's my final question then. They run a little pin and pull around the outside, a little sweep. You have either the tackle or the guard breathing down on you.
Yeah.
You can't cut now.
Nah.
Corners used to cut,
We
right?
setting the edge.
You can't cut anymore.
We set the edge for sure.
How are you setting the edge against that 315-pound elephant?
Near leg, near shoulder, and I'm gonna hold them off. You're gonna see it because it's gonna come.
Oh,
It's gonna come. So you're gonna see
they're gonna
it.
run at you.
You're gonna see it. So you're gonna see it.
All right. Finally, what are your goals, Deonte, for your rookie year? What do you want to put out there?
Goals. I just want to be a big part of our defense. That's all I wanted to be. Just a big part of our defense. And hopefully, get us to start winning. Get us winning.
Can't wait to see it, Deonte.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
aboard, man.
Appreciate
Nice to
it.
meet you.
Thank
Can't wait to see you in the field. Thank you for joining us for the Cornerbacks episode of the Giants Huddle podcast. I had fun talking to Deonte Banks. I think I got him to give some longer answers. I think he's better one-on-one than in a crowd. And I just had fun getting to know a little bit and talking to him. Tre Hawkins, another guy, has some confidence as a rookie. Cor'dale Flott, we found out he got up to 180. A lot of good stuff from him. Darnay Holmes talking about how he tried to practice on using his hands less in the slot this year. That's very important. He got flagged more than any other Giant last year for penalties. And then new arrival Amani Oruwariye, who, he really thinks he can kind of help the Giants as an outside corner, and he really fits the scheme Wink Martinadale has in store. Thank you so much for being with us in the Giants Huddle podcast. We'll see you next time.